Welcome to Ageless by Rescu. This podcast is devoted to exploring the science of rejuvenation, uncovering the most trusted experts, the must-have products, innovations, and technology in the field of vitality, aesthetics, new beauty, and cosmetic enhancement. I am delighted to welcome Snez and Sam Wood to Ageless by Rescu podcast. Welcome today.
Thank you. It's so good to be here chatting with you.
Thanks for having us.
And aren't you two the poster children for vitality, rejuvenation, and living your best life? It's such a thrill to be able to speak to people who are really walking their talk in this space.
Look, you say that, but with a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old and a moody teenager, and lockdown, it's I'm sure like many people listening and watching right now, that we still feel the effects of being tired. We're human, and we definitely try to practice what we preach, but we're definitely not perfect, and we have our moments, that's for sure.
So Snez, I'm going to start with you. You have such an incredible following, and I think one of the things of when we first saw you two as a couple on The Bachelor, and you kind of burst into our collective consciousness. The thing that everyone loved about you is that you were very much yourself. You were a woman in your 30s, and you had an incredible sense of confidence without arrogance. And, you did the show from a place of being, this is me, I like who I am. And I think I would like to learn, and I'm sure our audience would like to hear, what is the secret sauce behind, the confident, beautiful, radiant Snez that we see in the media?
Oh God, that's really tough one. I think it's just surrounding yourself with people who are positive. I think that's really important, and making sure that you believe in yourself and you don't let what people say get you down. That's such a hard question, because I really
look after yourself. You look after yourself beautifully, and I think when I interview people, and I have the opportunity to meet people from all walks of life, but certainly some of the most beautiful men and women in the world. And when you first were on television, you were a normal citizen, but you really, you obviously look after yourself. What are the things that you do that make you feel ageless, that make you feel vital, that make you feel beautiful?
I don't really obsess over it. I think that's what it is. I'm busy mum, 3 kids, 1 big kid, and I really don't obsess over the small things and how I look and how am I going to stay young and things like that. I just keep things simple. I think Sam knows I'm not one to go to day spas for hours on end or anything like that. I just like to keep things simple, like they did back in the old day. I think the way I was brought up is, don't put crap on your face, and just keep things natural, don't dye your hair and all that kind of stuff. So I did very little of any of that for quite some time. Now with the grays, it's a different story, but I think it's just keeping as natural as I can be and staying true to who I am and my my true self. And that's not really, I don't know, I'm not really a superficial person. I don't think I'm not really about any of that stuff. I mean, look what I'm wearing now. Like, I just care very little about what everybody else is going to think, and I just want to be comfortable.
So what are some of the things that you do? I mean, I guess one of the things that's been documented is, you're very fit, you're very healthy.
Yeah. I work out, every day I do something. It doesn't have to be a big, workout session, but I'll get the girls, I will go for a walk, go to the park, make sure I go up hills, down hills and all that kind of stuff, and get my exercise and all that kind of stuff in without really knowing that I'm doing it.
It's just not overcomplicated. Yeah.
No, it's not. Nothing's overcomplicated. Everything's very simple.
Have you had, like, do you believe in any kind of treatments, or, I know that you both had your teeth done, and I always think that's like the most incredible thing to do for your instant upgrade to how you look. Like, everyone can benefit from some good dental work. It really makes you look so much younger without having to have surgery, without having to do other extreme things. But are there other things that you do that you go, you know what, when I look after my skin like this, or when I eat this, it delivers? Because you are busy, so you need to do things that deliver.
Talk about the sun visor that you wear.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like she's doing some welding in the front garden, as she does the right thing with sunscreen. And I know that you, being from Perth and being Macedonian, I think the sun makes Snez happy, probably like it does most of us. But
really does.
Living in Melbourne, we don't see as much of it as Snez would like. But she has she gets melasma on her face, and she's very sort of skin conscious regarding sun damage. And so she wears this visor.
It looks like a welder's helmet. It's like I think it's called a halo. I think it's called.
I've seen them. I love them.
Yeah. So I wear them outside to just make sure that my skin is well protected, because even 5 minutes in the sun and my melasma will just flare up, come up. And I'm 40 now, so I am a little bit conscious of wrinkles.
Do you have injectables? Do you believe in having?
Look, I'm not going to say no. I'm 40 now. I don't know what the next few years are going to bring.
I love my injectables.
So I'm not going to say no to any of that stuff. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just trying to stay out of the sun as much as I can. My face, anyway.
You take care of yourself, though. You've got a
but I don't
skin routine that you.
What's your skin routine? You have to tell me what you do, because your skin is.
My skin routine. It's no, honestly, it's really simple. It's not like $500 creams or anything. I'm just using L'Oreal. That's it. I just use the L'Oreal serums and creams every morning, every night, and that is it. That's it, really. And I just cleanse my face with whatever. Every now and then I'll do a natural mask from the Body Shop, just to, I don't know, refresh, bring out impurities and things like that. But yeah, it's really simple. I don't overcomplicate things, and I don't buy into the $500 creams and things like that. It's just really
one of the things that I love about Snez, so like, she's so down to earth that it's a balance, because I sometimes don't think she gives herself enough credit, and she does enough nice things for herself. But she won't buy herself something nice. Like, she's very appreciative if she gets a nice gift, but she's a bit of a tight ass, but she's also probably a good balance. I spend like a nutcase, so we balance each other out quite well. But she's got a real sort of down-to-earth nature, appreciation for nice things. I mean, we've been in lockdown for 1.5 years, so it's hard almost to think back to what those days were like. But Snez loves to still get dressed up and, go to an event, or, we don't do it very often with little kids, but when we do, it's something you really enjoy, and you embrace it. And, I think you're very comfortable in your own skin, whether that's in your track pants at home and being a mum and being busy, and there's sort of no point getting all glammed up when you're, dealing with the kids and the chaos, but you're also, look stunning when you, dress up, and we might go to the races or a birthday party of a friend or something like that, and I think you like both of those.
And Sam, it's also, you've got your, it's beautiful to watch you guys together, because there's obviously still so much sizzle and so much companionship, and like a complete friendship that really balances each other out. And you've said some of the things that you really admire and love about your beautiful wife. What do you think has, in lockdown with 3 kids, what do you think has been part of keeping that attraction and that, I guess, that sexiness alive between the two of you?
Look,
Yeah, honey.
No, look, I don't know. It's not something there's no theoretical thought behind it. It's from the first moment I met Snez, there was a physical chemistry like no other woman I've ever met. And I think there's a year of that to go before it runs out. No, and that hasn't changed. Snez has I don't know, a sexiness about her from how she smells and how she feels and her skin and her lips, that kind of captured me from the first time I was close to her or kissed her, and that hasn't changed, and I don't think that ever will change. So to answer your question, it's easy, whether it be lockdown or not lockdown, or when it's definitely, we're definitely tired, but
never that tired.
Never that tired. No, we're tired, but you're never too tired for that. Yeah.
Never too tired, never too sick.
No, I mean, yeah.
Because that to me is a real youth marker. And people say, oh, it's not like when you were in your 20s, not like when you were in your 30s. But why shouldn't it be? Why shouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Couldn't agree with you. And I think, when you have young kids as well, like I don't feel like a 40-year-old, I'm 41, 42 in May, and Snez is,
I'm still 40.
Snez is 6 months younger than me, and reminds me, almost by the day that she's so much younger than me. But I think both of us feel quite young, and a lot of our friends are a bit younger, and don't even have kids yet. So like we we want to have fun and live life, and absolutely. And I think there's plenty of decades of romance left in this relationship. That's for sure.
I love that. But because one of the things we were talking about before we started filming is, why else do people do a program like 28 by Sam Wood? It's about energy, it's about vitality, it's about looking good, it's about feeling sexy for your partner, for yourself. There's all the motivation, being attractive and attracted is a huge motivation around fitness and wellness. And it's a thing that no one talks about, and they think it's relegated to your youth. But you are as young as you feel, you are as sexy as you put in the effort to be. And I think that, you do a lot of mindfulness and a lot of mind-body stuff on your program, which I think is so smart. And have you had that feedback on your program, that people are doing it because they want to feel like they've got another chance, they've got another decade, century, whatever in them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's biological age and there's chronological age, and I think when we don't take care of ourselves, our chronological age is much older than our actual biological age, but you can wind that back 10, 15, 20 years once you eat better and sleep more and drink more water and move your body more regularly. And and it's interesting too, because that kind of shift between your motivation of how I look and how I feel. Now, for most people, it's a combination of both to varying sort of degrees on the spectrum. But a lot of people start out because they want to change how they look. But it's then once they start, the reason they keep going is because how it makes them feel. Like I wanted to lose the 5 kilos and fit into a dress or look good for a holiday or whatever it might be. And then I started exercising every morning or 3 mornings a week and eating better. And I couldn't believe how much better I felt. And I had more energy and my mood was increased and my relationships improved and I was more productive at work. And that's the reason you keep going. And then how you look is just a beautiful bonus. So, it's really interesting, I think, to why people start. And then it's just as interesting to why they potentially keep going. But we have so many 28ers that say, oh, I joined just hoping to lose 4 kilos in a month. And 3 years later, I can't imagine my life without it because it's now just a part of my everyday lifestyle.
So with your program, one of the things I guess that is really interesting to me is that you really started the program for everyone, but being a man who was, on TV looking fantastic, like really, as I said, the embodiment of what you teach, you must have been approached by a lot of men, potentially, in their late 30s and also going into middle age, which is such a tough time for men as well. We talk a lot about menopause, we talk about a lot of around like women wanting to reinvent themselves, but men want to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
What is the most common thing you hear, and what are the things that you help them with that you want to share with them?
I think with men, and there's a few stereotypes here, but the things that you see often is they go from playing sport to stopping, and their metabolism is also increasing through those years, and they are also sort of in the peak work period of their life where they have to do the most hours. And then potentially the added complication from a keeping in shape perspective, not it's beautiful, but is you can have young children, so you're sleep deprived and you're really busy both at work and at home. So that's not to suggest that women don't have the same challenges, but when I talk to lots of dads, lots of men in that period of their life, they sort of go, oh, I used to play footy or basketball or whatever, and then I got a bit old or injured and I sort of stopped, and I didn't replace that necessarily with any exercise. And I was still probably consuming the same amount of food, and my metabolism was starting to slow down a little bit. And before I knew it, I blinked and 5 years had passed and I had this belly. And it was kind of, I don't remember the exact day or the exact moment, but it's like I woke up one day and there it was. And I was working 50 hours a week and I had a baby at home, and, I feel like I've aged 10 years in 3. And I think when you can, not that I've ever necessarily, let myself go, but I definitely experienced a bigger tummy than I've ever had before, and a feeling of not being in my best shape, particularly when the girls were really little and there was no sleep, and there were lockdowns and drinking too many beers and getting into some bad habits. And I think the thing that men like is that you can relate to them and you can talk to them and you've experienced sort of similar challenges yourself, and just keeping it simple. Like the gyms are wonderful, but only 15% of Australians have a gym membership, and not all men have the desire or the inclination to go to a gym. So I think to be able to show them that you can really take care of yourself with some simple workouts from home, and you can eat well without them feeling like, oh, you're eating, 2 grains of rice and a lettuce leaf. You can have healthy burgers and healthy spaghetti bolognese and steak and salads and barbecues and all this kind of stuff. And it's actually still delicious food that's really appealing to a lot of guys. All of a sudden, they have this realization that you don't have to necessarily turn your life upside down to wind the clock back and get yourself in better shape. And it's like I said before, then when they start to experience how that makes them feel, they think to themselves, I wish I'd just done this earlier. I actually didn't need to get myself in this position over 5 or 10 years. And now that I'm back in this position, I'm going to make sure I take better care of myself moving forward. Because, men typically are stubborn. We don't like to be told what to do. We don't seek medical help. It's, I think when you can show them that it's simple and you can build a nice community and there's a friendship sort of mateship component to it, then you can get some really powerful results with men, that's for sure.
And do you find that there are, certain things that deliver that first quick result that keeps them motivated to stick to a program? Because I know that, as women, we're always looking for shortcuts, and we're looking for things that are going to get us ready, as you were saying before, for a red carpet event or for the races, or it's a breakup and we want a revenge body fast before we run into the horrible ex in the supermarket. But how are guys motivated, and what do you suggest as some things to really give you that shot of motivation early on? What are the things that deliver fast?
Look, there are real parallels between what men and women both need to do, but men men, they've got to address the food. You know, the amount of men that I speak to that are happy to perhaps embrace the workout side of things and then get frustrated that they don't get the results or get the speed of results, and they're still eating really poorly. So, you know, they have, and it doesn't mean they have to eat a 10 out of 10, but, you know, they need to typically eat less carbs, eat less processed foods, increase their protein, increase their veggie intake, drink more water, drink less alcohol. And that's not to say drink no alcohol, and that's not to say drink 5 litres of water a day, but there just needs to be a healthy shift for both of those. And I mean, the good news for men is we typically have faster metabolisms and more lean muscle, so we can get super fast results. I mean, it drives a lot of the women that I work with on 28 crazy when their husbands only do 2 workouts a week and are eating the meals that they're creating, and they lose the weight faster. So, you know, we really don't have any excuses. Yeah, it's just looking at those bad habits. I mean, if you're consuming alcohol 7 days a week, that's a problem. If you binge drinking every weekend, that's a problem. If you can't remember the last time you ate a vegetable, that's a problem. So there are some certain things that, you know, you need to face the music and you need to address.
Do you guys find that it's easier because you're both committed to, you know, wellness? And Snez, you sound like you've got a very low-key and natural approach to it, but it must be easier when you're both kind of on the program. You know, you're not nagging each other. One of you isn't at the pantry gobbling down, you know, gummy bears, while the other one is, you know, doing laps around an oval.
Yeah. Look, what do you think, sir? I think it absolutely helps.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely does. Definitely. When we know that we're both like really in the zone,
yeah,
it's so much easier. You can bounce off each other, you can use each other for support. And when you're reaching for that Tim Tam, you know that the other person's going to be there to kind of go, hey, do you really want to do this? You've just worked your ass off. Do you want to just make it all for nothing? So you really help each other. And when it comes time for dinner or lunch or anything, like if we're both eating well, I just make the dinner and we're eating the same food. It's both, I don't know, it's just easier. Everybody's eating well. I'm not making a less healthy meal for Sam or myself and then watching him cooking twice. It's just easier.
And it's the same with the workouts. I mean, I speak to our 28ers a lot when they are frustrated that they're not getting that partner support. And it's typically women not getting the support from their boyfriends and their husbands, to be honest. And I say to them, you've got to have a really raw, honest, candid conversation with that person that loves you. And, you know, if you do that, if you take the time to sit them down and look them in the eye and say, this is really important to me and I need your support, I'd be shocked if they then didn't get on board. But you cannot argue that it makes things easier. The support, accountability, the you know, there's less temptations in the house. I mean, if you're sitting there with your steamed salmon and broccoli and your husband's bringing McDonald's past you, that takes a fair level of willpower. So I think having, being aligned and having some support, and I don't think you necessarily have to both be doing it at the same time, but you need the support from the other person. So you can say to your partner, look, this is for me. If you don't necessarily want to do that, that's okay. Yeah. All I ask is that you support me. You know, you don't drag me down, because often you see it with couples, you see it with work colleagues, you see it with friends. It's easier for your friendship group to pull you down than for them to lift themselves up. And, you know, that can be a harsh conversation to have with people sometimes, but, oh no, come out and drink with us and because deep down, they probably know they should be taking slightly better care of themselves. And it's just easier to twist your arm than it is to perhaps make some tougher choices themselves.
Guys, do you think that it's possible, and in your own experience, to look better in your 40s than you have in your 20s and 30s? Have you seen examples where people are, because they're taking care of themselves, or in your circle of friends or in your clients, where, you know, the 45-year-old who became a 28er actually looks better than their 35-year-old self when they were, as you were saying, in that hub of career, going out to the pub all the time, young kids? because I believe, and I have done enough research to know that you can turn back the hands of time. You can actually look and feel better, no matter, and you were saying about 10 years, but have you seen evidence of that in your group and in your experience?
Well, I've seen people look 15 years younger in 10 weeks. Skin, eyes, teeth, obviously body, literally like new people. And
but it's also their attitude as
well.
well.
Yeah, it's how they carry themselves. It's how comfortable they are in their own skin. When I see sexy celebrities that just somehow seem ageless or are looking, your Brad Pitts and your J Lo's and this, they're clearly very comfortable in their own skin. And I think you learn yourself a bit more. I'm not suggesting that I look better as a 41-year-old than I do as a 25-year-old.
I'm going to ask your wife that. Snez, is he still hot? Is he better? Is he getting better with age? Or
Yeah, I think he is. I find him, the more grey he gets, the sexier and more handsome he gets. He was always really attractive and damn sexy to me. Still to this day, he walks in or he gets all dressed up, even in his shorts and t-shirt. I'm like, ooh, he's up. But yeah, I find him getting sexier with age, especially the wrinkles around the eyes. I find that really
lovely.
Yeah, I really do. I love his little wrinkles, his smile wrinkles around the eyes. I find that really sexy, and all the grey. So definitely getting sexier with age. I
didn't go through puberty till I was about 26, so maybe I'm reaping the benefits of that at the other end. I'm not sure.
I'm going to ask you that. I'll ask you both this. Snez, you first. Were you beautiful in growing up, or did you bloom?
Oh God, no. No. My sister just sent me a photo a few weeks ago of me. You wouldn't even know it's me. Shocking. I
think if you saw Snez's 16-year-old daughter, or our 16-year-old daughter, you would know that's a big fat fig.
No, she's gorgeous. No, I wasn't.
Anyway.
But did you have a time? Was there a moment in your life where you as Sam was saying before, you learn about yourself? Was there a time where you just went, you know what, this and this work for me, these are my best features, I'm going to play them up, I'm going to forget about my whatever awkward stage, and then you went, you looked in the mirror and you went, this is great, I like. Was there an age, was there a time, was there a moment where you liked yourself the most?
Yeah, I think after I had Evie, probably about 25, 26. So I was kind of a late bloomer in that sense as well. But up until then, I was always kind of fluffing and doing this and that. But up until that point, I kind of went, no, this is me. This is what I am. These are my strong features and things that I'm going to focus on, and the other stuff can just.
I mean, even since we've been together, which has only been 6 years, I feel like you've had a realization that less is more. Less time getting ready.
I just spend hours getting ready.
Big hair.
She's the dream girl. A woman that takes time.
Honestly, I think, nice jeans, heels, a t-shirt, hoop earrings and big hair and ready in 20 minutes. And I think you look better than
fluffing around
2 hours and changing outfits 11 times and worrying about like the little 1%ers that no one can notice perhaps except you. I think and definitely I don't know, I feel like I think when Snez and I both first got sort of flung into the spotlight, particularly for Snez, because I think it's much harder for women. You found it a bit hard, because it was kind of going from no one knowing who you were to everyone sort of talking and judging and knowing who you and I think you were paralyzed by that a little bit, like you overanalyzed it and you got a bit worried. And I think over the last couple of years, both of us, but probably you more so you have just become much more free and comfortable and and sort of knowing who you are. also think, you know, you came from Perth to Melbourne and like different fashion and, you know, everything's you know, magnified a bit over here in a bigger city, and you know you kind of went.
And did you find that magnification affected your confidence and or did you go into turbo drive to kind of live up to the expectation?
No, I think it really did affect my confidence quite a bit. Like, and it's still kind of building back up. I think I was very self-conscious about a lot of things, what I wore, what you know, my jewelry, from my shoes, my hair and everything like that. I was really questioning everything that I put on. I'd change 10 times only to go back to the original outfit and still hate it walking out. And just thinking, oh God, you know, people don't wear these kind of clothes here and this is all I have. And yeah, no, it was really tough. It was really tough to begin with. But now I think also I felt that I was being European and from an European background and coming into Sam's world of.
She calls me a skip.
A skip, that's what we call Aussies back in Perth. It's a very bogan thing to say, but yeah.
Into the skip world,
into the skip world, I was thrown into it. I think I felt really like the black sheep almost. Not
and the paparazzi you camped outside your house, and you know, you go to get a coffee and next thing that photo's plastered all over Daily Mail.
Yeah, I couldn't just go out in a pair of thongs and jeans and a t-shirt.
You definitely think twice about perhaps wearing your Ugg boots down to the coffee shop. Like,
and whereas now we don't, now we're wearing Ugg down to the coffee shop again. So that's it's come around full circle again.
But that's just experience and age, right? Like, you do find your own comfort and you do get to a stage where you think, take me or leave me. I'm happy with who I am.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. I've kind of gone, you know what? I am who I am. I'm European, you know, come from European background. I'm from Perth. I don't speak very eloquently. I'm a bit of a bogan. I'm a bit of a bogan, but that's who I am. So take me as I am, or I don't care. I basically,
you're not a bogan. You just spoke Macedonian at home for the majority of your life.
Yeah. So yeah, I just don't care anymore. Now I think I'm more, even with what I'm wearing and things like that, I'm starting to embrace it more and be like, you know what, this is what I like to wear. I don't care if it's not the in thing to be wearing. And
do you have a look that makes you feel sexy and ageless and like your best friend? Is there a go-to look that you think, you know what, I love this. This is my happy place?
I think jeans and a t-shirt, yes. But when it comes to getting dressed up, I love the whole rat and boa look. Like I'm not sure if you're familiar with rat and boa, that label. I love it's almost like what would you call it?
Out there patterns and really flowy, sort of Spanish style of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just really Mediterranean almost. Really summery, hot, warm.
Yeah, I mean,
hoop earrings.
With a body and skin like this, safe to say she looks ridiculous.
That's my go-to, and that's what I feel the most comfortable in going out.
And Sam, what about you? Did you have, you know, a dream run? Were you always a hottie, or did you have awkward years and, you know, shed a lot of weight and then went, here I am? What's your story? What's your ageless story?
I don't know if I consider myself a hottie ever or now, that's for sure. But I was definitely a late bloomer. I mean, when I was 17 years old, I was the same height that I am now, which is 6'3" and 68 kilos. I'm now 98 kilos. So I'm 30 kilos heavier.
Wow, that's a big transformation.
Yeah. So for me, it was getting in the gym and putting some muscle on, and then naturally kind of just filling out and getting broader through the shoulders. And I mean, I wasn't shaving until I was probably 22 either. You know, like I really was a late bloomer. So, and I had buck teeth and braces. And so, I mean, yeah, look, I mean, my mates from high school think it's hilarious now that
You're a
I was the
pin-up, you and your,
Bachelor, relatively well-known celebrity.
What a good revenge story.
Oh yeah, no, they
always
keep me
send
grounded,
photos.
that's for sure. They send Snez photos just saying, just a reminder of the man that you're married to and how he once was. So if he gets a little bit ahead of himself, you can pull him down a few pegs. But yeah, for me, I was definitely a late bloomer, both face and body, and yeah, I'm much more comfortable in my skin now. With, I don't know, even work-wise, I'm so proud of what we've done together over the last 6 years and how many people we've helped and what a wonderful business that we've grown. That gives me a related level of, I don't know, just proud and confident and comfortable in my own skin. And when you get to wear jeans and a t-shirt or even a tracksuit to work each day because of what you do, you kind of get really comfortable in that kind of casual attire. I don't feel like I need to prove anything to anybody anymore, and I feel there's a real level of sort of contentment.
Do you do like grooming? Have you dragged them along for facials or Botox or anything other than
Definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, look, the little girls might put a at-home face mask on me from time to time. Look, I love a pedicure.
He loves.
I'm happy to put my hand up and say I absolutely love getting a pedicure. I don't have terribly attractive feet, so I pity the poor people that are having to go through that. But I love getting a massage. I love getting a pedicure.
Do you do any biohacking things? Do you do any ice baths or, the Wim Hof breathing or yoga or sleep therapy?
I love a sauna and I love a cold shower. I love some cold water therapy. And yeah, I'm starting to do yoga and Pilates, and, I'm definitely changing my workout style.
Why is that?
I just think it complements. Like, I just think it's not just about muscles and running. It's kind of listening to your joints and being more mobile. And, I just think as you get older, you want to sort of train smarter, not harder. And, through my 20s, it was bash and crash and heavy weights and sprinting. And, eventually that sort of catches up with you a little bit. And now it's about, like, I'm not really that fussed about having a six pack. I still want to look nice in a t-shirt and jeans. And if I'm at the beach, feel okay, but it's more about being able to play with the kids and have energy and have a strong back and better posture and all of those kind of things. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely still a level of vanity where I'm happy to say that I'm vain and, I like getting my hair cut and I like looking nice, and I think it's important that I feel attractive and that Snez is attracted to me, but yeah, not perhaps to the same level in my 20s where I was really I really cared about it, and kind of part of my worth was how ripped I was or anything like that. I'm definitely not like I used to be.
And do you, just to wrap it up, I know the girls, you've got like a window of time with the girls being asleep.
Yeah, they're going to wake up any minute.
Any second now. So I'm going to be really quick. Snez, what would you like to, if you could travel forward in time, not back, forward, what would you like your 60-year-old self to have experienced, and what advice would she give to you now?
Oh my God. You've just thrown a really tough question. What would I want? What do I want my 60-year-old self to know?
No,
I think maybe make time for you. I think I need to, make more time for myself and do things that I've always wanted to do, and things that I need to do to make me feel better.
Permission granted. There you go.
Yeah.
Abracadabra. What about you, Sam? What would you, let's talk about you going backwards in time. What would you like to tell your 20-year-old self from the perspective of being 41-year-old Sam?
I think from a mindset perspective, it's not a race, and slow down a little bit. I mean, the one thing I've learned many things, but one of the big things that I've learned from being a dad is to actually stop and smell the roses, more and live in the moment and not be in such a hurry to get everywhere all the time, whether it be growing a business or getting in shape or whatever it might be. And from a physical perspective, I definitely think some of those things that I spoke about before, the yoga and the core work and the posture stuff, do more of that, have a more of a preventative than a reactive approach to sort of how you train and not perhaps be so reckless.
It was just such a joy to speak to you both. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have met you like this and for you to have shared, a little window into your lives together. And it's beautiful to see and very inspirational. Thank you so much, guys, for being on Ageless.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Lovely to speak with you.
Wonderful to speak to you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please share and rate this episode. I'd love that.